Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 517 based on novel. So let's start. This bow swept across the dark star system like the wind. As the wind swept by, those sleeping souls in the 4-star system seemed to awaken from the void. Whether they died in glory, pride, helplessness, or survival, they all appeared after hearing Wang Lin's words. A sense of sorrow spread out from everywhere within the 4 major star systems. This sorrow came from those souls. Although they had died, their souls still remained as they silently watched the inner realm. Throughout the ages, they never entered the reincarnation cycle. They weren't willing to enter the reincarnation cycle, and they weren't able to. They could only turn into resentful souls and watch in sorrow. They were waiting for the day all the outer realm cultivators died. They were waiting for a day when the realm sealing formation would collapse. They wanted to see if this unending war would end. As Wang Lin bowed, he didn't look up but maintained his posture. His head was lower, covering up the sorrow in his eyes. Illusory souls appeared from the star system. The first to appear were the ancient cultivators who lived before there was an inner realm or outer realm. They were the first generation of life under the ancient celestial realm. They had received the teachings of the ancient celestial realm. They were the first wave of sentient life in the cave. Their clothes made them look like savages, but the auras that came out from their bodies were filled with understanding of the world. When the realm sealing formation appeared, they were confused and afraid. They all tried to rush out of the realm sealing formation, but they all died. At this moment, after an unknown amount of time, their souls were called by Wang Lin. They appeared all over the 4 major star systems and silently looked at Wang Lin, who was in the cloud sea. What appeared after them were the cultivators that existed before the 4 celestial realms were destroyed, the celestials of those 4 celestial realms. Although they were not true celestials from the immortal astral continent, in Wang Lin's heart, they were real celestials. Countless of them had died trying to leave the realm sealing formation. During the many invasions of the outer realm, many died. Although Wang Lin had his head lowered in a bow, he could feel those mournful souls. He clearly remembered when he first saw the Scatter Thunder clan statue the first time he went into the 7-colored realm. He looked into the memories of the statue and saw the celestials all rush at the realm sealing formation, but they all died one by one. Today, these dead celestial souls were summoned for the first time from the void since they died. After the celestials came the cultivators of this era. They were cultivators that had died during this 100-year war. Wang Lin knew a lot of them, but there were even more he didn't know. However, the endless souls that appeared had died for the inner realm. Their deaths needed to be remembered by future descendants. Throughout the ages, far too many cultivators and unliving beings had died during the wars between the inner and outer realms. No one had ever built a memorial for these dead cultivators, not during ancient times or during celestial times. It wasn't until now that Wang Lin paid tribute to the souls that had died in battle. Are you all willing to become this formation's immortal spirit? Wang Lin raised his head and looked at the souls. He spoke loudly to all those souls. As Wang Lin spoke, the endless souls in the inner realm became distorted and turned into an invisible aura that flew toward Wang Lin. The first to reach Wang Lin was an ancient cultivator. His expression was vague and his soul was bleak. He appeared 1,000 feet from Wang Lin and looked at him profoundly. Wang Lin maintained a bowing posture. The soul clasped his hands at Wang Lin. After he clasped his hands, he charged into the giant wheel and willingly became one of the formation spirit. Behind him, the souls that had died during ancient times all came. They all clasped their hands at Wang Lin from 1,000 feet away and entered the wheel formation without hesitation. Although they still had the resentment from their deaths, the moment they clasped their hands, there was no regret as they willingly integrated with the wheel formation. They had died for the inner realm, and even after death, they had offered their souls for the inner realm. They were heroes in life and heroic souls in death. 1, 2, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, hundreds of thousands. All the ancient cultivators that had died appeared and clasped their hands at Wang Lin. They came alone, in small groups, in hundreds, or in tens of thousands. They all fused with the formation after clasping their hands. Behind them were the celestials from the 4 celestial realms. They came from the wind, rain, thunder, and lightning celestial realms, but the blood that flowed through them was still that of the inner realm. Although they had been dead for countless years, their souls were still souls of the inner realm. They were born as a people of the inner realm and died as souls of the inner realm. They gradually appeared before Wang Lin. Like the martyrs before them, they clasped their hands at Wang Lin and fused with the formation. This scene set off waves in the minds of the countless people that saw this. Wang Lin maintained his bow. After those celestial souls came the fellow cultivators that had died in this 100-year war. Many familiar and unfamiliar faces appeared. They all bowed at Wang Lin and then rushed into the formation without hesitation. Some of them had been Wang Lin's enemies, and some had relations with Wang Lin, but at this moment, they used the last of their power to guard the inner realm. An aura of sadness filled the star system. The outer realm cultivators that had rushed over were all terrified by what they saw. In all heaven, on the 19 remaining planets, all the cultivators stood up and bowed at the stars without anyone leading them. Master South Cloud, Sichu Nan, Master Hong Shan, Qing Lin, and the others all stood up without exception. They looked at the sky with sorrow and respect. Not only them, but in the other 3 star systems, the few groups of remaining inner realm cultivators all looked up. The memories of the war flashed before their eyes and they bowed at the stars. There were also the 3 women that had gathered together in the cloud sea and were still a bit far from Wang Lin. Their eyes were filled with sadness as they bowed at the shadows that flew by. Also at this moment, in the brilliant void, in the empty star system, old Ghost Jean revealed a rare somber expression. He stood there looking at the souls that floated by and revealed a complicated expression. Lucy AI? Li Dong, Chang Yi. Are you all here? You all died a long time ago and only I still live now. At that time, we speculated why the inner and outer realms fight. I didn't think I would someday become the source of the war that I resented so much. We vowed together to change all this, to destroy the realm sealing formation and allow the inner realm to walk out. However, they don't know what I found from the celestial origin. I found a shocking secret. Sorrow appeared inside old Ghost Jean. Although he could be considered the strongest person in the cave, he was still a person, a life that was born in the cave. He was not emotionless. As Wang Lin called for those souls, his heart felt stinging pain. He was stunned, and confusion filled his eyes. After a long time, he bowed at those souls. However, just as he bowed, his expression became distorted and painful. It was as if a power had erupted from his body, preventing him from bowing to these lower realm ants. I can help you, but you can't stop me from bowing to these souls that make me feel guilt. Old Ghost Jean clenched his teeth and said this word by word. He ignored the power that tried to stop him and completed the bow. At the same time, in the summoned river, on a meteorite that even Wang Lin noticed with his divine sense, the All-Seer slowly opened his eyes. His expression was calm. He noticed the souls that were summoned from the stars and silently pondered. After a long time, he stepped out from the meteorite and stood there, looking at the countless souls. I should be the first person to awaken my memory. However, I was still a cultivator of the inner realm. You all deserve a bow from this old man. The All-Seer sighed and waved his sleeve as he bowed at the stars. Also in Summoned River, there was a person not even the All-Seer had noticed. This was the young man that came from Wang Lin's divine retribution, from the rift leading to the ancient celestial realm. He was sitting down and his body was blurry, it was impossible to see him clearly. At this moment, he opened his eyes and there was a flash of golden light in his gaze. Then contempt arose in his eyes. What's the use of bowing to these pitiful souls? A bunch of caged birds. I can't find the place Uncle Teacher Ma mentioned, so I'm not going to bother. Calculating the time, Uncle Teacher Ma should wake soon. This 7 Dao sect cave is becoming more and more interesting. Before Wang Lin, those endless souls clasped their hands and entered the wheel formation. After they all entered, the incredibly large wheel formation gave off a dazzling glow. This light was gentle to the inner realm cultivators, but to the outer realm cultivators, it was a painful glare. Under this light, one could clearly see countless outer realm cultivator souls under the giant wheel. They were slowly pushing the wheel like slaves. As those outer realm cultivator slaves pushed, there were many souls from the inner realm sitting on the wheel, acting as the formation spirits of this formation. As the wheel was rotated, a thunderous rumble echoed across the stars. A law of the world was changed. The inner realm cultivators could go to the outer realm through this formation, but outer realm cultivators couldn't enter. At the same time, the appearance of this formation didn't block the aura coming from the ancient star system. It only stopped cultivators that didn't belong in the inner realm, all the clans with the marks between their eyebrows. Because of the aura from the ancient star system, the inner realm could now gather Joss flames to cultivate. The chain that was around the inner realm cultivators disappeared. As all the souls from the inner realm entered the wheel formation, Wang Lin waved his hand. His white hair fluttered without any wind, his eyes revealed a strange light, and he let out a roar. Unnamed wheel formation, activate. As he roared, the wheel formation rumbled and expanded in a frenzy. As it rotated, it grew to a shocking degree. This wheel wasn't just blocking the cloud sea from the outer realm. Instead, it floated below the inner realm and shrouded the entire inner realm. If one were to look from far away, they would see it clearly. The inner realm was like a circle, and outside the circle was the outer realm. At this moment, this wheel formation was a large circle below the inner realm, completely covering the inner realm. Wang Lin waved his hand and the wheel rapidly expanded toward space that belonged to the outer realm. A thunderous rumble echoed across the inner and outer realms. It spread through all the star domains in the cave and caused the cave to tremble. As the wheel rotated and rapidly expanded, the outer realm cultivators retreated in fear. Some of them were too slow and were hit by the wheel. They let out miserable screams as their bodies collapsed and their origin souls were drawn into the formation below. They joined the slaves that were pushing the formation. As the wheel rapidly expanded, the inner realm was expanded indefinitely. All the areas shrouded by the wheel would belong to the inner realm. This was an invasion, an undisguised invasion. Wang Lin murmured, the person who created the realm sealing formation was not fair. Why was the inner realm only given this much space? Today, I, Wang Lin, will redraw the region with this nameless wheel. As the wheel formation expanded, the inner realm instantly expanded by 20%. The expansion of the inner realm meant that the outer realm had shrunk. There were countless planets within those 20% of expansion. The mortals remained, but all the cultivators with the marks between their eyebrows escaped. If they were too late to run, their bodies would turn to ashes and their origin souls would become slaves to the formation. In the countless years, because of battles between cultivators, many innocent mortals died. Your souls can't live forever like cultivators' souls, but you still exist. You are all innocent. Today I, Wang Lin, send you back into the reincarnation cycle with this wheel. Wang Lin raised his hand and pointed up at the void. The space in the inner realm trembled. Smoke-like auras appeared in all directions and gathered before Wang Lin. They formed an invisible vortex before Wang Lin. This vortex contained the souls of mortals, which far outnumbered cultivators. The vortex formed by the souls roared beside Wang Lin. As Wang Lin waved his hand, the vortex moved toward the expanding wheel. In an instant, those endless mortal souls entered the wheel formation. Borrowing the wheel, they were sent into the existing reincarnation cycle of the heavens. When the mortal souls entered the formation, their strength helped the formation expand from 20% to 30%. I, Wang Lin, as an inner realm cultivator, will guard this place for 3 years. For these 3 years, I will give up everything and enter the formation to become the first formation spirit. Wang Lin's eyes were calm as he stepped forward and his body fused with the formation. A ray of light shined as his body completely fused with the formation. He then sat down and the wheel formation expanded to 40%. The inner realm was now 40% larger than before. At this moment, the wheel formation seemed to reach a limit and stopped spreading. A burst of light spread out and seemed to spread endlessly. The entire inner realm seemed to be shrouded in a cylindrical light. Wang Lin's body fused with the formation at the cloud sea. He sat down and the Emperor Furnace appeared before him. He closed his eyes and began his 3 years of guarding. This upheaval had caused the inner realm to expand by 40%. The 4-star systems had expanded and countless cultivation planets with no cultivators had appeared in the inner realm. It was like injecting life into the inner realm. However, for the outer realm, it was a deep blow. Until now, the sovereign still hadn't appeared. He was sitting in his other palace, staring at where Wang Lin was. He only has the power of 2 shots. It can't be wrong, only 2 shots. However, my 3 life spell was already used once before, so now there is only 1 life left. I must make him use the other 2 shots during these 3 years. Once the power of the bow is gone, he won't survive even 1 blow from me. The sovereign's expression was gloomy and there was coldness in his eyes. His fear of Wang Lin had surpassed the person who had forced him to leave the inner realm with 1 roar. Master Miao Yun, Devil Master 9 Heaven, and Great Desolation are all trapped in the ancient tomb along with the 4th concubine. If those 4 can come out, then they might be able to absorb those shots. The sovereign stood up and was about to leave when he stopped. His eyes lit up and he raised his right hand and a jade appeared. He left a strand of divine sense in the jade and then threw it. The jade disappeared without a trace. Sovereign Council, listen to this order. Gather all remaining forces and launch an attack on the newly formed formation. Destroy it within 3 years at all costs. All 3rd step cultivators in the ancient star system, listen to my order and head to the Sovereign Council. Listen to their orders and destroy this formation. All 5th Heaven's Blight cultivators from all clans, gather at the Sovereign Council and accept Void Puppet refinement. If you disobey, your entire clan will be destroyed. Open the Sovereign Council treasure house and take out the ancient secret summon. Take the blood of 100,000 cultivators to open the ancient imperial order. The sovereign's expression was gloomy and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. After sending out a series of orders, he flew off into the distance. And there is also Dao Master Blue Dream. The body of the 5th concubine is his wife, and his wife's soul still exists within the 5th concubine. The sovereign silently pondered for a moment before he revealed a decisive gaze and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was on Mount Blue of the Blue Silk clan. The sovereign floated there, listening to the sad tune. After a long time, he waved his sleeve and spoke toward the cabin on top of the mountain. Old friend Blue Dream, do you know what happened in the inner realm? The zither music echoed and it took a while before it calmed down. Dao Master Blue Dream's voice came from the house. I know. If you can lure out 1 shot from him, I vow to use the power of my celestial bloodline to do whatever it takes to help you force the soul of the 5th concubine out. Silence came from the cabin. The sovereign was certain Blue Dream wouldn't refuse. After he spoke, he turned around and disappeared without a trace. When he appeared again, he was next to a rift in the ancient star system. He didn't enter, but his eyes lit up and his powerful divine sense spread out. 7th concubine, you have been in closed-door cultivation until now and your injuries have long recovered. If you don't act, then our agreement will be void. After a long time, a calm voice came from the rift. I will act. The sovereign looked at the rift and left. He went to many places and summoned all the forces in the ancient star system. Eventually, he appeared deep within the ancient star system, where there were 9 fragments floating together to form a circular continent. There was an invisible formation shrouding this area. Unless one had the celestial bloodline, they couldn't step into this formation. The sovereign respectfully stood on one of the fragments and bowed. Disciple greets teacher. There were 9 of these floating fragments, and they formed a circle. They moved in a strange track and the sound they made echoed across the star system. Because of the formation, anyone without celestial bloodline couldn't even see any of this. Even if they passed by, they would ignore this place. Without a celestial bloodline, you couldn't sense the invisible formation blocking you. The sovereign respectfully bowed on one of the fragments. 7 of the 9 fragments released 7 different colors and gathered to form a rainbow. The remaining 2 fragments were pale without any light. They were overshadowed by the 7-colored light. As the 7-colored light continued to flash, a shadow slowly appeared among the seven-colored light. Not long after, the figure became clear and walked out of the light. If Wang Lin was here and saw this person, he would recognize him as the seven-colored Daoist that appeared in the seven-colored realm when he was saving Qing Shui. Disciple greets teacher. The sovereign silently pondered for a bit as he looked at the seven-colored figure before him. There was a complicated gaze in his eyes. The outer realm has lost the battle against the inner realm. Before, teacher asked disciple to send the Li Guangbo to the inner realm, and now it is in Wang Lin's hands. I'm unable to fight against it. Teacher, please give instructions. The seven-colored light gathered on seven-colored Daoist. His expression was calm and his gaze swept past the sovereign's body. Is he really crazy? The seven-colored Daoist suddenly spoke. The sovereign trembled and closed his eyes. After a long time, he opened his eyes and nodded. I don't think so. The seven-colored Daoist smiled and looked into the distance. His eyes revealed a strange light. I'll help you open the ancient tomb and let those people come out. As for what to do next, you can go deal with it yourself. This game is almost over. The third one has been hidden for countless years and reincarnated countless times. This time, they should come out. The seven-colored Daoist smiled and his eyes were filled with anticipation. The sovereign hesitated for a moment and asked, is Wang Lin the third one? Aside from you, Old Ghost John, and a few others could all be the third one. He is too well hidden. Or perhaps he doesn't even know his own identity yet? As for this Wang Lin, he doesn't seem like it. But it's not impossible, the seven-colored Daoist said slowly. The sovereign let out a sigh in his heart. He clasped his hands at the seven-colored Daoist and turned to leave. However, he only took a few steps before he stopped. He didn't look back but spoke with a serious tone. When you asked me to worship you as my teacher, I agreed. The thing you promised me. Your master won't be able to leave this place. When I devour the third one, Old Ghost John won't be my match. Then your former master will be my tonic. The seven-colored Daoist smiled. His body turned into seven-colored light and dissipated. The sovereign revealed a complicated expression. After a long time, he let out a sigh and walked into the distance. Time slowly passed. Wang Lin was sitting inside the three-essence wheel formation, and below him was the Emperor Furnace. There were two arcane void cultivators inside. One was the old man in black and the other was the fifth concubine. These two people's spells were shocking, and they could only be imprisoned inside the Emperor Furnace. Wang Lin wouldn't be able to refine them in a short period of time. At this moment, his eyes were closed as he sat on top of the Emperor Furnace, suppressing and sealing them. Guard for 3 years, the most difficult 3 years. After an unknown amount of time passed, 3 rays of light vaguely appeared in the cloud sea, which had been expanded greatly. They turned into the silhouettes of 3 women. The 3 women were less than 10,000 feet away from Wang Lin. They floated there, looking at Wang Lin's back. This back was very bleak and gave off a sense of loneliness. However, this figure also gave off the feeling of a mountain. He was like a mountain that sat there and protected the inner realm. The first that went up was Shizifeng. Her figure was weak and she slowly walked forward 10,000 feet. She looked at Wang Lin, who had his eyes closed, and revealed a soft gaze. A beautiful smile bloomed on her face. I have thought it through. I don't want to be your disciple. I never want to be. Cultivators like us live for very long. I don't know when our lives will be over. I just want 1 year of your life. Only 1 year is enough. You are going to guard the inner realm for 3 years. Let me accompany you for 1 year, Shizifeng said softly. Wang Lin silently pondered. His eyes were still closed and he didn't say a word. After a year, I'll leave. If I die, then I'll disappear. If I live, I'll cultivate in peace. You don't have to speak, you don't have to look at me, but I'll be here. You can't drive me away. Shizifeng didn't mind Wang Lin's attitude. She sat beside him and silently looked at him. She was already a beautiful woman, and she had gained some age as time passed. However, at this moment, Beside Wang Lin, she felt like she had returned to more than 1,000 years ago. Wang Lin was the first person she liked and also the last. Between that was endless time. She was no longer young. She could also feel that Wang Lin didn't have her in his heart. After all, they were only together for a very short period of time. Perhaps she was only a passerby in his life. She understood all of this. Shi Zifeng didn't want forever, she just wanted this 1 year. 1 year of accompanying him to end this life of love. She was a woman without courage, but now she mustered her courage and said all those things to Wang Lin. Although she looked calm, her heart was afraid that Wang Lin wouldn't even give her that 1 year. She looked at Wang Lin and bit her lower lip. Wang Lin didn't open his eyes and didn't look at her. He calmly said, "You can go." This line seemed to take away all of Shi Zifeng's strength, and her face immediately turned pale. "I only ask for 1 year. Wang Lin, just give me 1 year, okay?" In Wang Lin's silence, Shi Zifeng's voice trembled and water vapor filled her eyes. Although she was a weak woman, she never cried much. Those few short tears were mostly given to her by the unforgettable figure before her. Ill-fated relationship, her teacher's words seemed to still echo in her ears. 1 year, is just 1 year not enough? Wang Lin, I know you can't accept me, but I just want 1 year. Is 1 year too long? Wang Lin remained silent and didn't open his eyes. Shi Zifeng felt a deep sting in her heart. She got up with a miserable grin and staggered back a few steps. She felt like a ridiculous actor who was talking to herself. Eventually, all her words turned into thorns that stabbed her own heart. This feeling was very painful. A long sigh came from Wang Lin and he opened his eyes. He looked at Shi Zifeng, at the woman he had memories of. His gaze became gentle and he spoke softly. "I'll give you 1 year." Wang Lin didn't know if he could revive Li Muwen. He didn't know if he could leave this cave, perhaps he would die. After learning all these secrets, what strength did he have to reject this woman's request for just 1 year? He knew that if he refused again, this woman would wither and eventually become part of his memory. Perhaps he would still remember a woman named Shi Zifeng many years from now. Shi Zifeng's tears flowed out. These were tears from a very complicated emotion. She silently sat down next to Wang Lin. Shi Zifeng softly murmured, "1 year is enough. Wang Lin, I won't take any more of your time." In the distance, Mu Bingmai and the woman in pink silently pondered. They sat down 10,000 feet away. When they arrived here, they came to an agreement. 1 year each. 1 year of time was not long. It was not long for mortals, and even more so for cultivators. Often, one cultivation session or one closed-door cultivation period would make several years go by in a flash. However, for Shi Zifeng, she hoped this year would pass by slowly. Wang Lin was not a person who was good at talking, especially with women. He often remained silent even when he was with Li Muwen. He often looked at her with a gentle gaze. In the blink of an eye, 3 months of the first year passed by. During these 3 months, Wang Lin rarely spoke, but Shi Zifeng was very satisfied. The two of them passed the 3 months sitting on this formation. She knew Wang Lin liked wine. Before her was a small pot with boiling water inside. There was a wine jug inside the boiling water. She was using the boiling water to nourish the yin of the wine. The water was boiling, but the wine hadn't been warmed yet. A cold wind that shouldn't exist blew by and caused ripples to appear on the surface of the boiling water. Coldness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. He raised his head and looked at the ancient star system. He saw rays of light gather toward him. It was the reformed army of the outer realm. Among these cultivators, there were 5 people that erupted with the aura of third-step cultivators. They flew over like 5 arrows. In addition to these 5 people and 100,000 cultivators, there were war chariots tens of thousands feet large being pushed by cultivators. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the calm star system. This sound became louder and louder until it was like thunder was descending. "They are here." A flash of coldness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. This video will end here.